Hello everyone, it's Lisa from Epic Yarn Gems. Today I'm going to be doing an updated video on how to learn to make a battle cap. Down in the description I'll be putting some more information on what the battle cap project is and all the wonderful work that they do. To make these battle caps, there's specific yarn that you need to use. It is the Premier Everyday Yarn. It's the anti-pilling. This is one of the wrappers that it looks like. It is a 4-weight yarn and it is from Premier Yarns. If you are not able to use the Premier Yarns, you can also use the Caron Simply Soft yarns. So we'll start off with a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around our fingers twice, grabbing that back loop, pulling it under the front loop, and then what you'll do is you will start with a chain 2. After your chain 2, you will do a double crochet into the center of the ring. If you are new to crocheting, I will put some links to tutorials up in the right hand corner to assist you with some of these stitches. But like I said, you are going to do 12 double crochets where you yarn over, go into the center of the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, you're going to pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and go through the last 2. And like I said, you're going to continue that until you have a total of 12 double crochets. Upon completing that, you will do a slip stitch join into the top of that first double crochet in the ring. What you're going to want to do as you do that is you're going to want to pull the tail a little bit of that magic ring to tighten up that center hole, and you're just going to want to make sure that that is tight so that the hat does not come undone. For our first row, we are going to do a chain 2. The chain 2 never counts as a stitch, and we're going to go into that same stitch and do 2 double crochets into the same stitch. By doing this, we are increasing the size of our hat, and you will have a total of 24 stitches once you do that. So for each stitch all the way around, you are going to put 2 double crochets into each stitch. When you finish this round, you will finish off with a slip stitch join, and then you will start the next row. You will start again with a chain 2, not counting as a stitch, and you will do a double crochet into that same stitch as the chain 2, and the stitch after that you will do 2 double crochets. And that will be the pattern for this round. That would be a double crochet in one stitch followed by 2 double crochets in the next stitch. You will do that all the way around, and you'll have a total of 36 stitches when you complete that. And then you will also finish this round off with a slip stitch join. For row 3, again, we are going to start off with the chain 2. The pattern for this row is in that first stitch, which has the chain, do a double crochet. In the next stitch, do a double crochet as well. And then in that third stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets. Again, this is increasing the size of the hat. So again, you are going to do a double crochet in the first stitch, a double crochet in the second stitch, and 2 double crochets in the third stitch. As you finish this row up, you will have a total of 48 stitches in the round, and you will finish off with a slip stitch join. I have made quite a few of these battle caps, and they're really quick and easy. They work up fast, and it's really for a great cause. So as we're finishing up our row 3, going on to row 4, we are going to start off after that slip stitch join with a chain 2, and you're going to do a double crochet in the next 3 stitches, starting with the stitch that has the chain, and then in the 4th stitch you're going to do 2 double crochets. So again, what that would look like is double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. Next stitch has 2 double crochets. As you finish up this round, you will have a total of 60 stitches in this row, and you will finish off with a slip stitch join. And that is row 4. As we continue on row 5, we are going to be doing something very similar. As we finish off that row with that slip stitch join, row 5 begins again with a chain 2, does not count as a stitch, and then we are going to do double crochets in the first 4 stitches, starting again with that one that you did the chain, and in the 5th stitch you're going to do 2 double crochets. So what that is a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, in the next stitch 2 double crochets. As you finish this round off, you will have a total of 72 stitches in your round, and you will finish off with a slip stitch join. Row 6 is a little different, and this is your last increase round. So as you finish off that slip stitch join from row 5, you are going to chain 2. But here the pattern gets a little different. You are going to do double crochets in the first 13 stitches, and then in the next stitch you're going to do 2 double crochets, and you are going to repeat that until you get to the end. There will be 2 stitches left, and in those stitches do double crochets. That will give you a total of 77 stitches all the way around. I did forget to mention the size of hook that you need to use. You can use a 4.5 millimeter hook. Typically I go down about a half a size on that, simply because I do crochet a little looser. The big thing with these hats is to make sure that they aren't too big. So that's one of the reasons for the smaller size hook. And if you do crochet loose like me, you may want to go down a half a size in a hook or a whole size. So whatever works best for you to keep your stitches nice and tight. As we continue through, the next pieces of this pattern are totally repeats of the row before it. So we just finished up that last increase. So for row 7 through 13, or you can do row 7 through 12, whichever you prefer, because that is when the change colors come in around 12, row 12 or 13. So for these rows, what you're going to do is you're going to start with a chain 2, and you are going to put a double crochet in each of those stitches all the way around. You will have a total of 77 stitches for each of these rounds, and you will finish them off with a slip stitch join. Next we will be changing colors, so do that however works best for you. This is what I do. In that last double crochet, I leave the last 2 loops on the hook and I bring in my new color. In this case it's gray, and I lay that across my hook and then pull it through the last 2 loops on my hook. Then as I do my slip stitch join, I want to make sure everything is tight, so I pull all of the tails, but I also lay across my hook all 3 strands of yarn, including the one I'm working with. Then I push back the one of the main color, which is the red, and I do a chain 2, leaving the new yarn, which is the gray, and laying them across the stitches so that I can incorporate them into this row. This way I don't have to sew in the ends when I finish. So what I usually do is we're still doing double crochets. I do about 10 of the double crochets before I cut off the end of that new color. So you're going to do an entire round with this new color, and then when you get to the end of this row 14, which is 77 stitches again, you are going to change the color back to the primary color, which in this case is red. So here is another look at how to change that color. You're doing that last double crochet, not finishing it, leaving the last 2 loops on the hook. Then we're going to pull the red up that we did not cut off from our last color change, and we are going to finish off that double crochet with the red yarn this time. Again, we want to make sure everything is tight when we do these color changes, and then we're going to do that slip stitch join. And I am going to have both strands of yarn lay over that so that I can carry that color up to my next color change. So I do the slip stitch join with the red. wanting to make sure that all the ends are tight, and then we're going to do a chain 2. I also have that gray moving up with us, so I did include that with the slip stitch join, and I am not going to lay it across the stitches because I don't want to pull that color all the way around, nor do I want to cut it. So here what you're going to do is you are going to do double crochets all the way around. Again, 77 stitches. At the end you will do a slip stitch join. At the end of this row we are going to change the color back to gray, and we are going to do another round of these double crochets. I'll be putting a link down in the description to the Battle Cap project, so if you want to learn more about it, you can do that, as well as a link to this pattern. So if you work off from a written pattern, that will be available to you as well. So as you finish these up, the one last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to weave in all of your ends so that the hat is totally finished off, and you will also want to cut off a 24-inch piece of your secondary yarn before you send that and put it inside the cap so that the button can be attached before sending off. So like I said, this is a really great project. I love doing work for them, anything that I can do to help. So if you do have some extra time, please consider making some hats and getting those off to the Battle Cap project. As always, peace, love, and happiness from Epic Yarn Gems. Take care.